Modern Warfare 2 was confirmed by Infinity Ward to be the next installment in the franchise, with it being a direct follow-on and successor to the controversial Modern Warfare 2019. But there's one thing that Infinity Ward have never really had on Treyarch, and that was their third mode. Now, since Zombies was first introduced to the community back in World at War, Treyarch Zombies mode has essentially taken over gaming as a whole, with the classic World at War maps being just a taste of what to expect come Black Ops 1, which is where it really started. Infinity Ward have always been looking for their third mode, and even in previous Call of Duty games actually decided to implement some form of zombies or their own spin on it. Whilst it was still pretty good, it was never up to the standard that Treyarch set for the community. And the best thing that Infinity Ward really had done in their own way was Spec Ops from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, which I personally really enjoyed, but it was never quite as good or well received. However, with the release of Modern Warfare 2 2022, we've had a lot of leaks around the new third mode coming by Infinity Ward, and I think this mode could be, if it's successful and done right, as well received as Warzone, and that mode is called DMZ. DMZ will change the way that we play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, if done right of course. Now, I did mention DMZ very briefly in my previous video talking around the leaks for Modern Warfare 2 and what we know so far, and from what we do know about this mode, it sounds really promising. So what is DMZ? Well, DMZ is a mode that takes massive inspiration from the likes of Escape from Tarkov, and it was very similar in ways to that of Battlefield 2042's Hazard Zone. DMZ will be everything that we thought essentially Hazard Zone would be, a less hardcore version of Escape from Tarkov. If you guys have ever played Tarkov, you'll know how amazing this game actually is, but how fucking hard it is to master and to be pretty good at it. A less hardcore version of the game is an absolute dream, and there is a massive gap in the market for that. A survival mode with a looting mechanic and inventory, ability to earn different currency throughout the mode, and loot buildings and locations for gear and to complete your challenges. You have NPCs roaming around the map as well as actual online players, and you can exfil on this mode after you've completed the requirements of your mission and you've completed it. You'll also be able to travel to a place called the Bazaar, which is essentially a huge market with loads of people from the campaign, so all the characters and things like that, which will give you different objectives and things to complete within this open world mode. Within the Bazaar, you can also trade, take new missions, and sell things that you found in the mode. You can trade things as well, and sell things for currency, and even buy different things like attachments, weapons, and even perks. I mean, to be honest, this isn't even scratching the surface of what this mode will be like, but how good does this sound? Now, DMZ is supposed to be designed for around 20 to 35 players, and it will probably be playable potentially even in the beta, or even may have its own beta, similar to what Blackout had. At launch though, there will only be solos, and then followed by this maybe a month or two after launch will be followed by duos, trios, and then also quads. But it's also really important to know that DMZ will be playable independently from multiplayer and Warzone 2 as well, so potentially we'll have our own ranking system in this mode, which is really exciting. Now, Hazard Zone suffered massively. It was shit, it really isn't very good, and that's because it was extremely limited. With DMZ, hopefully we'll have a separate progression system, armor, looting system, and just generally a currency that will differentiate this mode from the rest, and I think that is what this is needed. It needs to be treated like it is a separate mode. But anyway, let's get into some of the leaks for DMZ and talk about it in a bit more detail. So I want to start off by talking about the maps for this mode. Now, the mistake that DICE made with Hazard Zone and Battlefield 2042 was they reused multiplayer maps and they thought that that would be good enough for the player base. But we all know from playing it that it's just fucking boring, man. If this mode is to be taken seriously, it needs original maps designed for this mode in mind, with areas designed for looting in mind and also close quarter and slower based combat. And, leading on from this point as well, it's been leaked that there's apparently a minimum of 4 maps in development. Whether or not all of these end up being in the final game, we'll have to wait and see. Potentially it may launch with 1 or 2 and then the rest will be delivered in DLC later down the line. But some maps are catered for a more open world feel, where others are more concentrated on a denser or close quarter combat areas like tight corridors, or even like a house sweep in Modern Warfare 2019, how close quarters that was, with doorways being very realistic. This is a really positive thing for me, and with the game being a 2-year minimum game, expect more DLC to come for this mode as well. However, going on to a bit of more of a negative spin around things, with the likes of Cold War and Modern Warfare 2019, both had a PlayStation exclusive mode which wasn't available to the other platforms until pretty much a year after the game had launched. I just hope that this mode will not be locked behind a paywall or have limitations because of these exclusivity deals. I don't think it will be the case because this will be essentially the third mode, and Spec Ops was available on all modes in Modern Warfare 2019. So the overall idea for DMZ is for it to be a continuation of the campaign storyline, allowing you to still speak and be introduced to all of these characters from the story, along with some of the different plot points as well, and continuing those on in DMZ. Now the cool thing about this as well is that wherever this is based, and we know this is potentially based in South America, there'll be some form of bazaar that you can use, visit and trade. A bazaar essentially a big place which has loads of different merchants, place that you can buy things and just everything on show for you to go to, choose your new missions, your weapons, trade weapons, sell things and stuff like this. So that'll be a really cool place to go and just chill out. Whether this will be an actual place that you can go and be like the Tower in Destiny, or whether it'll be more like Escape from Tarkov, where it will essentially just be in the menus. I would prefer a free roam area on this game. I think that would be really, really cool. And I do hope they take this forward and do something like that. Even a place that you could trade with other players in that lobby with you as well, which could be a really cool step up. But guys, that's all we have time for today. But right now, this is everything we know around DMZ. And I just hope that it is done to a point that we can look back in a year and go, that is what this industry needed, this mode, other than just another generic battle royale. With Warzone 2 coming out as well, we're going to have that pot filled, and then also this is going to be a new one which is going to sit there and we're going to look at and probably play and really enjoy, and I really cannot wait to take this a different approach on Call of Duty as well. But guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Drop a like on today's video if you did enjoy, subscribe if you're brand new to the channel. Speak soon guys, and take care.